couple weeks ago, Columbia City was in the paper for being the 20th safest place to live in Indiana. And that's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's still really up there. I mean, there's a lot of towns in Columbia City. And so to be up that high is pretty great. And I remember growing up in high school and a lot of people saying they couldn't wait to get out of this town, and I'd never understood that because I always liked living here. And I mean, it's a safe place to live, and I like the small town feel. And having a safe place to live like that is in itself a great blessing, but also a great burden. And while we do have a safe environment to live in which we can openly adhere to our faith and live out our faith as Christians, a lot of places around the world, they can't openly live out their faith as Christians because of the heavy persecution they face. And there's a good and a bad side to each of those situations. Here in America, we can openly live out our faith and be pretty comfortable about it. And that's great. But that also means there's no persecution or testing of our faith in a way. It's very easy here in America to fall into a faith routine where you just do the same thing every day in and out. And then there's no real growth. There's no real experience with Christ. It's just following the motions. And in the foreign countries where Christians are persecuted, yeah, they can't openly express their faith for execution, punishment, jail time, whatever. But their faith is constantly being tested. The Bible says that iron sharpens iron, and in that sense it does. They are sharpening themselves because of this constant persecution, and therefore becoming stronger Christians because they have to, or else they will lose their faith. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that. And in James 2, it tells us, "What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed, lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, be warm and filled,' without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." And here in America, we struggle with that, with having faith without works, because we don't really need to do much with our faith, because it's easy to be comfortable here. You just go to church, go home, go to church, go home. That's it, you're done. The only time you really experience anything God, maybe, is when you're in church. And a lot of people fall into that. And those people in other countries, they have to live their faith every day. And they have to do their faith every day. So therefore, their faith is strong. And it's easy to fall into the Christian dialogue of just saying, "Well, I'll pray for you." How many of you actually pray when that phrase is told to you? Or how many of you, when someone tells you that, you actually expect them to pray for you? I've always wondered that. It's like people saying, "How are you?" When someone says, "How are you?" are they really asking? Because I did this at Huntington. Someone would pass me on the sidewalk and they asked, "How are you?" I would say, "Terrible." And a lot of times we went, "All right," and just kept walking like nothing ever happened. People don't really care. They just kind of say it because it's the polite thing to do. And again, in James 1, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him." We need to constantly be testing our faith, having perseverance in our faith, to continue to build it, make it stronger, and we need to ask God for help, because God is the ultimate provider. He's the only one who can help us strengthen our faith, because we can't do things on our own, but with God's help we can. And so we need to constantly be looking to God to find the strength and the assurance and the perseverance and even the trials, which I'm going to talk about next week, that we're going to face in order to build our faith even stronger.